Far too many business owners and entrepreneurs focus on building a business and not a brand. On this Branding Bites podcast, I dish out bite-sized strategies to keep your personal brand front and center to make a more significant impact and see bigger results in your business. Hey there, it's Kristen Korn, and you're listening to the Branding Bites podcast, episode number 15, Why You Are Not a Fraud for Changing Your Mind. All right, so today I want to talk about something near to my heart this past year. I want to discuss those times when we get into a situation and we tell someone we're going to do something, and then by some matter, something happens. You don't feel as that comment is valid any longer. Kind of want to backtrack, right? So maybe you've done this with your life or your career as well. I've done both, and I think we all have. It seems that we give ourselves a timeline for everything. I'm not sure if we're trying to just totally map out our future in our life or simply prove to others that we can do something by this time. But it seems we make claims for all sorts of things. So we're talking business here. But maybe it's also when we're going to have kids or how much money we're going to make by a certain date, what house we're going to live in by this time, what career we're going to pursue, and so on. So like you know, I have experience with the direct sales industry, and particularly the same company for 8 of those years. As I was coming up in that company, it seemed like there were always times I was making claims that I would reach this income goal, that title goal, or earn that trip by this time, this month, this year, whatever. And what I ended up doing, I was locking myself in my own prison cell to make sure it happened. And of course, I cared too much what others thought of me. So since I said I'd reach that goal, I wanted to make sure I did. There was even a situation several years ago when I told my husband that I was going to make 7 figures in my direct sales business and retire him from his college coaching career by this date. But you know what? That didn't happen. But you know what else? Nothing can make us feel more imprisoned than not living in our own truth. And the truth is my years piled up in that one direct sales company, my purpose and my path, they were leading me somewhere else. So it came down to me having to spit out those 4 words. I changed my mind in order to escape the prison that I had locked myself in for all those years. And it wasn't that I still couldn't eventually hit that 7-figure mark or any of the goals that I had said I was going to reach, even though they already passed. It just wasn't who I was any longer. The business didn't fill my needs, and it was time to get out of that cell I put myself in. Luckily, I had only been cooped up for a couple of years before changing my mind, so I don't feel as I wasted as much time as I definitely could have. We'll just put it that way. And I attribute that really by the people I surrounded myself with. So very positive, very real, transparent business owners who are forward-thinking and God-loving women. What happens is that we become so afraid of disappointing someone or letting them down. And this could be a spouse, it could be a parent, it could be your team or employees. So we stay cooped up in our own jail that we build around us. And many times it can be for our entire lives. Well, I said I was going to retire him with this career choice, so I have to stick with it. No, you don't. I had every right to change my mind, and so do you. We're afraid that if we change our mind, that there's going to be people out there who will get mad at us or not approve of us anymore. Well, she said she was going to do that. We're afraid that if we change our minds, that we'll be rejected or abandoned for speaking our truth and doing things differently. And there are even times when we might believe that we are somehow bad or awful or terrible people because we don't want to do what others expect us to do or what we once told someone we would do. But you guys, I am here to tell you it's okay to change your mind. Circumstances or passions or interests have changed maybe, and based on those changes, you just choose to go in another direction. This episode of the Branding Bites podcast is brought to you by my 14-day Stay in Your Lane challenge. If you're ready to pave the foundation for your brand and turn a stuck and lost mindset into a business journey with purpose and confidence, I invite you to join the next round of the 14-day Stay in Your Lane challenge. Enroll today at kristenkorn.com/challenge. The next round starts tomorrow. So are you a fraud if you change your mind? Absolutely not. It's okay if someone gets upset with you or disagrees with your actions or decisions. You know why? Because your value and your worth is not dependent upon their approval. And to be honest, if they were leading with love, with a human's first personality like my friend, client, and business coach Sarah Reinecke trains on, they would completely support your change of mind. So like I talked about in Branding Bites podcast episode number 11, when I made the decision to put my brand marketing business front and center instead of my direct sales business in 2019, it was an empowering and self-loving place for me to come from. And as Esther Nicholson says, you are worthy of empowerment and clarity in your life. You are not only deserving of making clear decisions that are in alignment with your truth, but this is also God's will for you. You cannot shine your brilliant light while living a lie in an effort to please others. I know this for you, and I stand in this powerful truth for you. Now that, for me, was just a few powerful sentences. And I know that there will be more and more times where I have to say to someone, I changed my mind. And every time I know I will be making the decision for me and not because of anyone else around me. I also know that who I am right now is not going to be who I am next year or 3 years from now. We all have the right to find confidence in changing our minds. It's truly the frauds who are the ones who stay in a situation because they can't say those 4 words, I changed my mind, to someone else. So, I hope this story can give you a little more self-awareness of the cell you may be putting yourself in right now. Like I've said many times before, I believe we are layered in experiences that lead us to our next purpose. One passion can lead to another until you know without a doubt you're living in your lane and serving the people God put you here to serve. You simply need to unlock and shine a light on all the actions, behaviors, and preferences you already possess and say those 4 words with confidence when needed. I changed my mind. All right, purpose-driven CEOs, until next time, keep putting purpose behind your brand, and thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Branding Bites podcast. I'd love to hear from you, so hop on over to Instagram at Stay in Your Lane Brand and drop a comment. And if you're feeling extra gracious, please leave a review wherever you caught this podcast. You can dive into the show notes for this episode and all episodes at brandingbitespodcast.com. And if you love this podcast, please share it with a friend. Thanks for tuning in.